Hi guys, and welcome to Emotions and Essential Oils. Today we are going to talk about how emotions are made. I have this great book called How Emotions Are Made. It is by a psychologist and a scientist, and that is where a lot of the stuff at the beginning comes from. And for those of you that are watching on Instagram, you can go to essentialenthusiasm.com/emotions to see it. You can also keep watching on Instagram. If you want to get the links to everything, that's going to be there. And oh, yay. I'm so glad. So you guys are all saying hi in the chat room. Hello and welcome. We're going to get started in just a minute. I actually need to edit something really quick. So first of all, then we'll get started. And so what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how emotions are made, actually the chemical stuff that happens, how essential oils can actually interact with all of that, and then also the essential oils that have been specifically designed to work with specific emotions. And even when you don't know anything about what oils to use, a resource you can use to get the right oil for the right mood. I just realized that one of the things I was going to use, I think, was just delivered by my mailman. I just heard him drop something off. So I'll get that if we need it at the end. What we'll do is, so I'll tell you about how emotions are made, the oils that you can use to manage specific emotions, and then I'll answer your questions. So I got a question in from my email, which I guess I need to pull up. And you can leave any questions in the chat room, or if you're watching on Instagram, you can post them on Instagram. That is awesome. Hi, Katie. Hi, everybody who's watching. Thanks for saying hi. Hi, Jenny and Jolie. Everything went a little crazy with my technology, thus the reason we didn't start immediately, but we're going to get right into it here in a minute. All right. I'm going to copy and paste some things, and then we will be good to go. That's not right. Okay. Everything is like really slowing down because I'm live streaming the video. You glad I don't start immediately? Well, that's good to know. And we'll edit all this out of the final version so that nobody else has to wait here while I get things working. Okay, and then anything I mention, I will go on and add into the page that you're watching this on so that you can get the link to it. Sometimes you guys ask questions and I remember resources I have, so I'll link those all up afterwards. If you're watching on Instagram, it's essentialenthusiasm.com/emotions. And let's get right into it. Let me pull up my notes. And yeah, so before we get started, are there anything that you guys are hoping that we cover about emotions, using essential oils, using any kind of resources? What are some things that you're hoping that we cover? You can leave it in the chat room, or if you're watching on Instagram, you can post on Instagram, and I'll make a little note of it so I make sure that we cover it. Let's see. So, hi, Jess. Excellent. Hello, welcome everyone. Okay, so go on and leave your question below. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little chat room next to the YouTube box. I just realized I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on Instagram, I'm live on the webpage. The links to everything will be on the webpage, so that's really where you should head. I'm gonna make sure and I open up the YouTube chat room as well though, and then I will simplify everything so everything is next to each other. I feel like half of doing a webinar is getting all of your pages lined up properly. There's the question. Okay. So, and if you want to ask me a question privately, like you don't want me to use your name, you can email it to me. So the questions I got in via email, I won't be saying your name just out of your own privacy because you didn't tell me you want to say it publicly. Katie said, I would love oils good for not crying while on your period. Amen. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, actually, that is totally a part of what we're going to cover. So that I now have a good place to edit it, I'm going to like start it officially right here in a minute and act like I didn't just say everything we've just said, but go in and leave your question or email me anything. If you got this, you got an announcement via email, reply to that email if you want to ask your question privately and not like, have your name associated with your question. Somebody asked how to wean off meds for anxiety. We will definitely talk about that at the end, with the understanding I'm not a doctor and I suggest talking to your doctor before you change any medication. Katie, mine too. We're all synced up. Okay, so welcome to Emotions and Essential Oils with me, Tara Swigert. I help makers, artists, and essential oil enthusiasts build sustainable businesses. And part of building a sustainable business is dealing with all of the feelings. That's actually just part of living a life and a sustainable life where you don't bite your kid's head off and you don't lay in bed and can't get up. And we are all dealing with feelings. My own personal story with essential oils is that last year, I finally dealt with my longtime anxiety and depression, and part of the way of dealing with that was going to the doctor, trying a bunch of different meds, none of which worked for me, and I was committed to finding all of the things I could do to keep the anxiety and the depression at bay. And for me, anxiety is in a lot of ways. It manifests as panic attacks at the most inopportune moments. And then my brain would just immediately forget I had ever had a panic attack and would just like make me avoid doing certain things. So that is where I'm coming from, but we're not going to talk specifically about anxiety and depression. We're going to talk about all the feelings and how feelings are made and how how they're actually made in our brain and how they work. And for those of you who are watching on Instagram, my phone is just at 10%. So instead of running off and getting a charger, because I don't see one handy, if it dies, go to essentialenthusiasm.com/emotions and watch it there. Okay, so we're going to talk about how emotions are actually made on the chemical level, what we think of as emotion, where that actually comes from, the chemistries, the hormones, and then our own concepts. A lot of this that I'm covering in the first half is from the book, How Emotions Are Made. It's a really great book. It's really thick. So I'm simplifying in a lot of ways, but if you want to learn more about how your body does this process that I'm going to talk about, check out the book, How Emotions Are Made. It's very sciencey and thick, but I am enjoying it so far. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. And I don't think it's the kind of book where there's a big twist ending where she's like, no, just kidding. So I've read tons about the studies and the theories about it so far. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about what that actually means for how you can deal with your feelings, both like with all the natural solutions that there are to deal with your emotions, and then how essential oils fit in to how the emotions are made and how you can use them to help manage overwhelming emotions when you feel them. Our goal is not to stop feeling feelings. Our goal is to feel the feelings and still be able to live with our life. So we're not going for like apathy or no emotions. We're going for a level of emotions that we can handle and still have the life we want to have, basically. So that's what we're going to talk about doing today. At the end, there'll be a Q&A, but if you have questions as they come up, leave them in the chat room, whether you're watching on Instagram or YouTube or on my website. And again, if you want to get links to all the things I'm going to talk about, it's at essentialenthusiasm.com/emotions. So if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram and something goes weird, head there for all of the details there. So let's start with how emotions are made. Emotions feel like they just take over us, and the kind of conventional wisdom, and she talks about this a lot in her book. I just realized, did I ever hit go live? Yeah, okay, I did. What she talks about in the book, How Emotions Are Made, is that the conventional wisdom is that something happens, we have a feeling, we can't help that. So like something scary happens, we're afraid, we run, and that's just how we've evolved, is that when there is a input, we immediately react and we can't help it. So we feel like they just come over it, and it's a really fast sequence, and we don't have a lot of say or responsibility or choices to make in between. And when you understand that that's not actually how the process works, and it's a little more, there's more steps to it than that, and how fallible that process is in our own brains, then you realize that you can make some changes to how that process has been happening in your own life, in your own feelings. So emotions, and this is so there's the evolutionary theory of emotions, how that they're just like, you see a bear, you run, that happens, we can't help it, that's just how it is. The only way to change that is to like take medication. Then there's also the constructed theory of emotion, which is what we're going to talk about today. There's a lot of studies that back this up that she talks about in the book. So the constructed theory of emotion is that emotions are constructed from our outer experiences and our inner bodily feelings, layered with what your concepts of different emotions are. So emotions don't have one fingerprint, like an emotion doesn't show up the same for everyone. My angry might be crying and red-faced. Yours might be screaming and throwing things. These concepts are formed in our childhood and our personal experiences and the culture we're raised in. So emotions actually look different across different cultures because of what's both acceptable, what's taught, what's seen and modeled. And so there's both psychology and chemistry involved in emotions and what our concept of that emotion is. And each of us has our own personal concept of what like anger or fear or excitement or enthusiasm or happiness looks like. So when I say that they're constructed both from outer experiences and outer stimuli and inner bodily sensations, I'm going to break down how that actually works. So your senses, right? Your sight, your smell, your touch, they're constantly scanning the environment, and your brain is processing tons more information than we're consciously aware of. So we're consciously aware of something like 0.005% of all of the input that our brain is processing in any given second. So these inputs from our senses send signals, and these signals are messenger molecules. This is going to come up later. And these messenger molecules travel to receptor sites, and a receptor site catches the messenger molecule and it causes a physical reaction. So if it's a receptor site for serotonin, it releases serotonin if that's what the messenger tells it to do. If it's for cortisol or adrenaline, it releases adrenaline. So once these receptor site catches the messages, there's a physical reaction. That could be increased heart rate, faster breathing, flushing if you're me, sweating, your gut clenching. That's what happens when the message is sent. Those changes happen without conscious thought. You don't think, scary input, I'm going to release more cortisol so that my muscles are prepared to run, and I'm going to speed up my heart so it's all set to go. You don't think any of that. This all happens unconsciously. And your brain does this by predicting what the various inputs mean. And it makes those predictions based on past experiences and how you were raised and your culture that you live in, and what is deemed scary, not scary, exciting, not exciting, arousing, not arousing. So all of that happens subconsciously, and they're just based on predictions on what your body thinks is going to happen next and what it's going to need. So then your brain is scanning your outer world and your outer sensations, but it's also always scanning your inner environment. And this is called interoception. And this isn't like scanning your spirit. This is scanning your actual organs, right? Now, your interoception isn't nearly as finely tuned as your external senses are, but it's really important because it scans your inner environment and then sends messages back up to your brain and says, hey, what's happening with this? So your brain then makes predictions based on what those inner feelings are. So for example, your stomach clenched and your heart rate speeds up, your interoception feels that and sends a message back up to your brain. So your senses made that happen, and then your interoception feels it and says why, and it looks for meaning for what happens. And so your interoception senses it and then reports to your brain. Your brain then scans both outer and inner and says, why is my heart speeding up and my stomach clenching? So you're going to come to different conclusions. Your brain is going to predict a different outcome depending on what's going on. So if you haven't eaten in a few hours, it's going to think, oh, I'm hungry. That's why my stomach's clenching. Or if you just ate, it might think, oh, no, I shouldn't have eaten that burger. Or if my husband walks in the room and my stomach clenches, my brain goes, oh, it's doing a flip because I'm so in love. My stomach is flipping with love. Now, just because it comes up with a prediction doesn't mean that the prediction is true. The prediction might be proved right, like you eat and then you feel better, or I smooch my husband and my stomach calms down, or it might be proved wrong, like you throw up later. I thought it was because my husband is so cute, and then it ends up that I'm actually have the stomach bug. Or sometimes you get no confirmation, right? There's just like no outcome that you can tell what the prediction was. And your brain is always updating its predictive model based on what got confirmed and disconfirmed in previous examples. And it's doing this all the time. Like she says in the book, How Emotions Are Made, think of your brain as like a scientist that is, or think of this interoception as a scientist always going, this happened, and then this was a result. This happened, and then this was a result, so that it's updating what it predicts for the next time. And it's really important because your body needs to maintain homeostasis, and it needs to maintain your energy reserves. So it's all the time asking, should I up my fight or flight, or should I relax and digest so that I have more energy later? Should I use more energy now so that we're safe, or should I use less energy now so that we have energy for later? Your brain is always managing this without you even thinking about it. Now, sometimes this prediction that your interoception makes when it feels it, and then it sends it up to your brain is like, ooh, I just saw my husband, it's a stomach flip. Sometimes that result lines up with an emotion. So for example, if I'm walking in downtown and my stomach clenches and my heart rate beats faster, and I scan my environment and a man is walking towards me, my brain predicts that my stomach's clenching because I sense that this guy isn't safe. And that feeling that this guy isn't safe then leads to, in my concept of fear, it leads to fear. And that's the emotion I feel. Now, if I was on my menstrual cycle and my stomach cramped and I was in the exact same situation, my brain would say, oh, you know what? You're on your menstrual cycle. You're probably having cramps. So the exact same situation could result in an emotion like fear, or maybe it results in no emotion. Or to take it another level, because I've been trying to get pregnant, having my menstrual cycle might prompt me to then feel sadness or grief or general grumpiness because I'm unhappy because it's making my life harder. So that's how the systems work together. Both chemically and then based on your own experiences and your own beliefs and how you think about different emotions. And I want to be clear that none of this is wrong. Like none of my concept for fear and it being triggered by a guy walking past me on the street, that's not wrong. It just might not be factual, or it might be factual. But I can only live my life and make these predictions based on my own past experiences, and the same is true for you. But this is why, if you are in a partnership, you have noticed that your partner has a totally different set of emotions with the exact same input, right? So like we can be watching a movie and I can be quivering or crying and my husband has nothing. It's not that he doesn't have emotions. It's that whatever feelings he's feeling are triggering his same like predictive model to say, oh, we should cry now, or, oh, I'm feeling my heart thumping, so it's sadness, and then that thought of sadness triggers the crying. So we're just experiencing the world in different ways because our brains have been formed in different ways. We've had different experiences. Now, I want you to note a couple things about this. So a lot of this whole process is based on predictions that our brain makes. And this is the point that she makes in How Emotions Are Made, is that it's all based on predictions, both from the initial external senses and then from our interoception. Our brain is just predicting, and it's not doing it consciously. So I don't want you to think that like it's just that you're messed up and your thoughts are wrong. These aren't thoughts. These are just the constant thing your brain is doing to manage your energy needs. Our brain can only make these predictions based on our past experiences, our beliefs about how the world works, and the culture and the society that we're raised in. So I might give you some compassion for people who act totally weirdly in a situation. You realize like, oh, they're just processing this differently. So that's the first thing, is that a lot of this is based on predictions. Predictions can be wrong or right. We're always learning. The second thing is that this is a cycle, and we reinforce this cycle by noticing the feelings, labeling the feelings, and then adding onto those feelings more thoughts, right? So if I'm watching a movie and I get kind of sweaty. Then I think, oh, this movie is scary. And my brain is like, oh, you're experiencing something scary. And it sets off another whole set of reactions based on the fact that my thought was, this is really scary. So that cycle is reinforced, and both by our inner thoughts and some more outside perceptions, right? So if I'm walking down the street towards a guy and he reaches into his jacket and he like looks at me and starts walking closer to me, now I've gotten even more data that's telling me even more that this is a scary situation. Now, because I'm really bad at recognizing faces, what often happens is the guy's like, hey, I know you. You're Jay's wife. This happens to me all the time. My brain and body is like, panic, panic, guy walking towards you. And then the guy is like, oh, I'm his long lost cousin or friend, or you've met me 50 times, you just don't remember me. However, none of this is wrong or bad. It's just the way we work. And if we want to change our feelings, we have some options. So if we want to experience less of the, oh God, panic, and more of like, calm down, it's fine, we have some things we can do and some responsibilities we can take. So the first one is one that is taught in cognitive behavioral therapy, which I've talked about more extensively on my podcast. I have an episode on cognitive distortions, and I also have an episode that I called Anxiety, What's Working 1 Year Later. But cognitive behavioral therapy is the most studied of my brain is blanking, psychological therapy. No. Therapy and psychology, that's what I'm looking for. It's the most studied, and it's also been shown to be one of the most effective, and in some cases as effective as medication. So what cognitive behavioral therapy teaches you is to notice your feelings first, and then look at what thoughts caused the feelings. And then ask yourself, are those thoughts suffering from some distortions? So distortions might be, you assume that it's all or nothing. That it's all or nothing. So either I'm going to be a massive success, or I'm going to land on my face and lose all my friends and lose all my money. That's all or nothing cognitive distortion, or a mind reading cognitive distortion. Like, you know what that other person is really thinking. That's not helpful. Also, like that you can predict the future. You just know that if you do this, this will happen. That's a cognitive distortion. There's a really great app called Mood Notes, which helps you actually do this process. So if you want to do this process on your own, you can see what cognitive distortions you're using the most often. Then once you identify the distortion, you rewrite that thought. So you identify your feeling, then the thought that led to it, then you look for a distortion, then you rewrite that thought. And again, I've talked about this on my podcast. I'll link up some episodes below this video. So that is one way that you can help redirect the habits. Oh, this is the thing I didn't say. I want to make sure to say. So this whole process we've talked about so far, it becomes a habit. Because your predictive model is based on past experiences, it's very easy for it to become a habit that your body reacts in certain ways, and that then you associate a feeling with those ways that it's reacting over time because it's happened again and again for you. So cognitive behavioral therapy can help you rewrite some of those habits and some of the ways that this works for you. Now, the second way that we can deal with this, and by the way, I recommend all of these ways. It's not 1 or 2 or 3. It's 1 and 2 and 3. The second way we can deal with this is to work through past traumas and experiences that have solidified our body reacting in certain ways. So that guy walking down the street, I use that example because it's a real example based on my past experiences and the way I was raised by a single mom and the culture that I live in. There's a bunch of things that have caused that to be where my interoception goes when a dude's just walking towards me. So when we work through that with therapy and something like the Mood Notes app and journaling or tapping or praying, when you work through that and acknowledge that and just like stop suppressing it, it can help you recognize the ways that your body isn't always right, and sometimes it's overreacting. So there's a book by a really renowned psychologist who works at Harvard, and the book is called The Body Keeps the Score. And in that, he talks about how that our limbic system, which is the system in charge a lot of this messenger signals that cause panic, it sometimes gets stuck in the on switch. when trauma happens. And through working through this, and he has found yoga and therapy and a couple other things we're going to talk about to be really effective at helping people move through that. So if that is one of the things that is making your reactions seem not in alignment with reality, that could be something that you need to work through. We can also improve our brain and chemistry, so it's producing less of the freak out hormones and more of the calm down, it's fine hormones. And this stuff is super interesting. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But when your body gets that initial input, if you have trained your body and your body chemistry is all set to not freak out, then it won't freak out as often. This is why meditation has been shown to be so effective, meditation and prayer, so effective at managing symptoms of anxiety, because what you're doing every time you sit down and you calm your breath and you breathe deeply is you're training your body to react in that way. And because it's a habit and it's a subconscious habit, the easier you can get yourself into that subconscious habit, the more it will serve you when things actually come up. So when we scan the world for why we are feeling the panic or sadness, having a gut, which we'll talk about in a minute, and a brain that is like good at calming us down will help us move through that and not get in the habit of always panicking. Now, a third option, and again, I like all the options, but this is a third way, is to change the messages at a chemical level. And here's where essential oils come in. So remember I said that we get outer stimuli, which sends a little messenger molecule down, around. It's received by a receptor site, and all these hormonal things happen. Well, here's the thing about essential oils, is essential oils are made up of thousands of chemical constituents, tiny little molecules. And many of those constituent molecules actually act like messenger molecules inside of our own bodies. Now, because our bodies and plants have been evolving together through time, and our bodies are made to work together synergistically with plants, a lot of plant molecules fit together in our receptor sites. So an essential oil within our system can act like a messenger molecule. So there are both internally created messenger molecules and externally created messenger molecules, which, by the way, not just essential oils, but a lot of the chemicals and toxins and medications work on the same level. So antidepressants, aspirin, heart medication works on the same level of it acts like a messenger molecules and binds to your receptor site. And I won't go into details with SSRIs, but that's how they work, is they talk to your serotonin receptor site. Essential oils can work in the same way. So it's in that initial reaction stage before you've even felt anything that it can act like a messenger molecule. It will plug into a receptor site and sets off its own cascade of results. So their reactions can be things like deeper breathing, slower heart rate, faster healing. They've recently, there was that article in the New York Times about how sandalwood promotes faster healing of skin wounds, a relaxed gut, so that it's processing well, which we'll talk about. But there are studies that actually can see this result happening in real time when exposed to something like lavender or orange or frankincense. The results can happen within 30 seconds. So in the same way that this happens subconsciously with external stimulus, we can also create this by choosing to interact with substances that will create the reaction that we want to create at the hormonal level in the blood. I think it's really fascinating. Whenever I've seen the studies about what actually happens in our blood, it's like amazing. So earlier I said that, just a couple minutes ago, I said that we can increase our body's ability to create those calm down hormones. And I wanted to talk about that for a minute before we go more into how you use the essential oils to create that hormonal cascade of relaxation. The gut is where a lot of this happens. So the gut creates over 90% of the body's serotonin. So a lot of scientists refer to it as the second brain because it's creating more serotonin than our brain is. We think about our brain creating all the serotonin, but our gut is. And serotonin, in case you don't know, is the hormone that makes you feel real good and calm. It's what is messed with when in a lot of antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications that are called SSRIs. What they're operating with is serotonin. So, and often people who suffer from fibromyalgia or depression or have a hard time sleeping, it's because of low serotonin levels. So I just want to say, if you're watching this on Instagram, my phone's about to die. So go to essentialenthusiasm.com/emotions and you can watch it there. So if you can keep your gut happy and producing good levels of serotonin, a lot of this can be helped. There's a lot of studies that show that a gut that is producing the right levels of serotonin can protect against depression and anxiety and fibromyalgia and a lot of chronic pain situations. And we can do that by taking a probiotic that is going to make our gut more efficient at producing serotonin, and that is going to help us not do the initial freak out when we get the signals about freaking out. So the probiotic I use is from doTERRA. It's actually a double capsule that has essential oils on the outside that hit your stomach. And then the probiotic moves into your gut and is released in your gut and it's full of healthy bacteria that help your gut react well. So also you can use a healthy diet to keep your gut happy. Sugar tends to feed the bad bacteria and kill the good bacteria. So by reducing your levels of sugar, that can help your gut, which can help your serotonin, which can help your emotions and how you feel when you get those external signals. Also, a healthy diet can be aided by taking supplements. And I'm actually going to talk about how that's one of the bonuses this month is free supplements. So I'll talk about that at the end, but I just wanted to mention that not only supplements, but things like, or not any supplements, but specifically the B12 vitamins help your body produce some of these hormones. And they also help protect the messenger, the actual neurons that are all part of this process. B12 and vitamin D is super important, and having a supplement that's properly created so that you're getting the right amount and not just tons. Like, you can have too much of some vitamins, like vitamin A, but of course you can also have too little. So you need to make sure you take the right amount. It'll keep your gut happy. It'll keep your things like B12 actually, protect your cells. Also omegas, all of that. Now, when we talk about actually getting the essential oils to go to those receptor sites, there's a few ways that can happen. So one is when you just breathe in. When you smell anything, this isn't just for essential oils, it goes up into your olfactory bulb, and that is right attached to your limbic system. Your limbic system is where all of this chemical activity is happening for many emotions. And that is one way to get it directly into some receptor sites, is to breathe it in. Our olfactory system has tons of receptor sites for these mood chemicals. Another thing is your skin. Your skin is covered in receptor sites. That study I said that showed that the skin heals faster when sandalwood entered the bloodstream, that same study showed that we actually have receptor sites all over our skin. This is why anything you put on your skin actually absorbs into your bloodstream and can affect your mood. And I'm sure you guys have heard about hormonal disruptors, like in plastics or lotions. And there's like things we're supposed to not have in our lotion because our skin is covered in receptor sites, and whatever you put on your skin is going to be picked up on those receptor sites and can affect not just your mood, but also your hormonal production, and all of your internal organs are run by these messenger molecules and receptor sites. Rub it on your skin, hit the receptor sites. Also, then it will be absorbed into your bloodstream and moved to the organs that need the help. And then to actually get them into your gut, you can take them internally, but you have to be really careful. So you can take essential oils in a supplement or a veggie cap, or you can put it under your tongue. I mentioned the probiotic that I take has essential oils in it, but you have to be careful because all essential oils are not cleared for internal usage, and they don't all have the same quality. The company that I use and that the products I'm going to talk about have completely raised the bar on testing standards. They not only do the tests, but they share the results of the test publicly. So every bottle of oil comes with a number on the bottom of it. You can go to the website Source2You and to see the tests that were run on that batch of oils and the results. And they've created a standard, CPTG, that every oil has to be this level of purity. It has to have no fillers or add-ins. So like if you're allergic to gluten, you don't have to worry about there actually accidentally being wheat inside of this, which is really, really common with essential oils because essential oils come from plants and plants grow next to other plants. And so cross-contamination is just a natural part of agriculture. But these oils are tested to make sure that there is no cross-contamination. There's no filler added by the distiller, to kind of bulk it up. So, and then actually tested to make sure it has the right level of those active chemical constituents, because you can get lavender that's super inactive, that doesn't have those chemical constituents that are going to make the difference for you, for your healing, for your mood, for anything. And so that is part of the reason why sourcing and testing is so important. But also the FDA, just like the FDA doesn't regulate vitamins, the FDA doesn't regulate essential oils. So you need to make sure you really trust the company that you're ordering the oils from, and you're really clear about the standards of testing and purity that they have before you take anything internally. So when I mentioned that you can take them and they can immediately go to your gut, which is like your second brain, you want to make sure about the purity of the oils. So I told you how essential oils can work on the chemistry of how moods are made, but I also want to talk about like which oils, right? Because that's a lot of people's questions. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but first I'm going to check the chat room because we just talked a lot about science. And everybody says you can hear me just fine. So if you can't hear, you should probably turn up your sound. That's usually what it is. And I'm going to check if there's anything in the live chat. Oh, it's going to start. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can post them in the chat room. Everybody says you can hear me just fine. Okay. Okay. Excellent. So Anakin says, autumn is my danger time for depression. I'm sorry. Interested to use oils to avoid it this autumn. Excellent. Awesome. So I talked about how they actually work on the chemical level with your mood. And the fact is, many oils have properties that will help with different feelings and different moods. And the question, like Anakin's question is, well, which oils? Like what? How do I know which ones to pick? So there's a lot of resources and a lot of books, and you're welcome to ask me about specific resources, but I love that doTERRA actually created a kit with that answer in mind. So specifically for dealing with emotions, they have the emotional aromatherapy kit. And what I love about it is not actually just the oils, which are great too, but in it, it has this chart. I'm going to click to see if you guys, okay. So this wheel has feelings on the inside, and I'm going to post this image under this video so y'all can look at it closer. It has feelings on the inside, and then it tells you for those feelings you want to look at mints, or for these feelings you want to look at citruses, for these feelings you want to look at spices, because that's what's been known to work at altering or shifting those feelings. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is the reason why at the beginning I talked about cognitive behavioral therapy, recognizing and journaling and meditation and prayer, and I didn't even mention running and exercise as being something that helps your body learn to promote or learn to produce and get in the habit of producing the hormones that end up making happy moods. The reason why I talked about all that is because essential oils won't change your feelings. They will help change the physical manifestation of those feelings, which then can let you do the brain work, the thinking, the conscious work of choosing a different way to go. So if you're in the middle of anger, which I've been there, oh, where did it go? Anger's on here somewhere. Angry. So here's angry. You find angry. It recommends an herbs or grasses. So like I have rosemary, I have basil, I could choose that. Or doTERRA has blended a blend specifically to answer this question of anger that mixes both herbs and spices. No, trees. So, and that is called their Forgive blend. It's a renewing blend. And this, I didn't say this. So this chart tells you which kinds of oils you can pick, but they've also created blends to deal with that section of emotions, and they've put them all together. There's 6 in a kit called the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. I've taken my oils out, otherwise they'd be sitting here. I've got them sitting here in front of me because I actually use them. And this kit has those 6 oils, so that instead of you being like, well, let's see, I need a citrus for gloomy, so I'll buy orange, and then I need a mint for insecure, so I'll buy peppermint. Instead of you having to collect all those individual ones and then not quite knowing, maybe they don't smell right when you put them together, they've created the blends for emotional well-being. So you guys can throw out some moods, and I'll find it on the wheel and then tell you the oil for it, or I can just go over the different blends. I love them all. What's really interesting to me is I didn't love them when I first opened them up, just the smell of them. But when I'm feeling the feeling associated with it, I always end up liking it. So like Console is a blend of trees and florals, and it's comforting, and like it's really good for grief or sadness or being hurt or worried. I did not like it when I opened it. I was having a fine day, but then one night I was really sad, super sad, crying. I opened it up, I put it on, and I liked it. Like it was what I needed in the moment, and I could tell that it was what I needed in the moment. It felt really, really good to like have it then. So like Console is a blend of different trees like frankincense resin, patchouli, ylang ylang, and then also the flowers. I think ylang ylang is actually a flower. And it's got rose and osmanthus flower, and then also one of the woods it has in it is sandalwood. So it promotes feelings of comfort and hope. So when you're sad, the opposite, the thing you need is some hope, and that's what it promotes. I'm going to check the chat room to see if you guys are throwing out feelings for me. So tell me some feelings, and we'll look it up. What is the oil to go with that? So the top, if you look at the top of this chart here, the top one is the Motivate blend, which you guys have heard me talk about before because I use it every single day. It's the Encouraging blend. And what it does is it promotes feelings of confidence and courage and belief. And like, I think it's super helpful. And many of my students have told me it's super helpful at the beginning of a work day to put this on and get ready to work. And, or if you have to do some public speaking, it promotes confidence, and that counteracts the negative emotions of like doubt and pessimism and cynicism. So I find it really useful to reach for when I'm struggling with those things, just like nothing works. What's the point? And then the next blend on the little thing is Cheer. And Cheer is a blend of citrus and spices. And it helps you when you're feeling distressed or feeling somber or feeling apathetic. It can make you feel optimistic and cheery and happy. And it's so because it's a blend of citrus and spices, it's really interesting. I like it a lot. It's a little lemony, and so it's got orange and lemon and lemon myrtle, but it also has a clove and star anise. So if you think of those chai spices mixed with like some citrusiness, it's extremely cheering. And these, by the way, all of the oils that are in these blends are oils that have been found to work with the emotions that then the blend is for. So Passion, I talk about all the time because I wear it all the time. They call it the Inspiring blend. So it ignites feelings of excitement, passion, joy. I wear this one a lot when I work or when I need to go out and be social because it counteracts feelings of boredom or disinterest or like blandness. And it's very easy for me and my social anxiety to like close up, and this makes me feel more open. So it is a blend of herbs and spices. I like it a lot. So the herbs are like, or the spices are like cardamom, cinnamon, ginger, clove, and then the herbs are sandalwood and jasmine and vanilla bean. It's just very, very good. And then the next one is Forgive, which we talked about a little bit. And it's a blend of herbs and trees, it's very, very grounding. So trees in general, like frankincense and sandalwood, are extremely grounding, whereas herbs like open you up. And so Forgive is called a renewing blend when it's all actually, because of the things in it, it's also really good at keeping bugs away. So like I'm diffusing it now because the screen door doesn't close all the way and flies are getting in, but when I diffuse it, flies stay out. And then I'm also diffusing Peace, which is a blend of florals and mints. And it really helps if you're feeling anxious or you're feeling fearful. I use it sometimes with anger as well, just to like calm me down. And it's very, because it's florals and mints, it's very bright, and it's like bright, but also calming. So mints tend to wake you up, and florals tend to keep you calm. So the combination is like a kind of pleasant calmness, kind of pleasant awakeness. So Carolyn asked, I tried passion but can't seem to like it yet. I'm a lot more about lavender. Does that mean I need more rest instead of being active? So yeah, it could be that you're feeling plenty of inspiration and excitement about your life. And so that's just not something you're really feeling a need for right now. And that maybe what you are feeling the lack of is over in those florals. So fearful, worried, hurt. Those are the ones that the florals can help with. So that's another way to think about it. Yes. Tosh says, if there's a particular smell you really don't like, for me, that's cloves. You could buy the single oils and mix your own. You absolutely can. The reason why I like the blends is because they've got so many oils in there that you would need a big oil box to mix up a thing of Console. However, you can find what I really like about this. And like I said, I'll put this image below this video so you guys can access it, is say you don't have this kit, but you do have some sandalwood or frankincense. So if you're feeling grieving or sad, go get your tree that you already have. So something like a Home Essentials kit comes with a citrus. It comes with a lemon. It comes with oregano, which is a spice. Or is oregano an herb? I think oregano is an herb, isn't it? And it comes with frankincense, which is a tree. It comes with lavender, which is a floral. And it comes with peppermint, which is a mint. So if you went with a Home Essentials kit, you could still use oils for your mood. This isn't the only way. I just like that it's pre-made. So when people say, what oil do I use for what mood? They put it all together. Oh, look, and it also has the explanation on the back. And what I also like, I just like the packaging. It has like space in there. But so I wanted to tell you that this box with these 5 oils plus this diffuser right here, am I pointing at it in the video? Yeah, this diffuser comes as an enrollment kit. So when you buy this emotional aromatherapy kit, you'll get a diffuser, and you'll also get 25% off the next year on doTERRA. Anything you order, you'll be getting wholesale prices of 25% off. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But I also wanted to tell you that these oils come in this format, which they call the touch form, and they're pre-made roller balls. So what that means is that these, let me show you. These oils are the pure oil you can put in your diffuser, and then everybody in your family can smell it, which is really good if you need to dose your whole family. And it's got a dropper top like this, and you just drip it into your diffuser. You can also use this on you if you dilute it with some coconut oil. All of these are safe to use neat, like just on your pulse points, and you actually kind of become your own diffuser. Or I put them on my diffuser bracelets, which I'm going to tell you how to get in a minute, because people always ask. And then you smell it throughout the day. I put on Peace yesterday because I needed it. These roller balls have I don't want to open that one because I already have a Passion open. They have a roller top. Do I have one in my pocket? I often walk around with roller balls in my pocket. Ooh, let's open a Cheer. Okay. So this is my new kit, which is why these aren't open. They have a roller top, and these are already pre-diluted with some coconut oil, so they're safe for you to roll on you, for you to roll on your kids. You can, especially with the mood oils, you can put them on your pulse points, and your own body heat becomes your own diffuser. You can also put them on an area that's feeling tense and tight. So often I put Cheer over my heart or on the back of your neck. And the soles of your feet. So anything you don't like the smell of, the soles of your feet have the biggest pores. So it's going to enter your bloodstream the most quickly, and you're going to get the benefit the most quickly. And you don't have to have the smell up near your face. So if you are feeling like I need some cheer, but I don't like the smell, roll it on the bottom of your feet. You'll still get the effect of it because, again, it's happening at the chemical level, and you don't have to smell it. You don't have to have it go up through your olfactory system for it to still have the same effect. It can go into the receptor sites on your feet and then enter it into your bloodstream and move around and cheer you right up. Does that make sense? So, Katie says, when I'm having a hard day, I open all my bottles one by one and diffuse the one that smells best. Sometimes figuring out my exact emotion is hard, but the nose doesn't lie. I love that. So that's actually one of the things I wanted to say is that this can really, oils in general can really help with kids. I was just talking to a dad about this, and he said the reason why he shares essential oils with people is because he sees that he's given his kids a tool that they now have a way of processing their emotions that he wasn't raised with. So they now know that they can identify an emotion and then say, I'm going to pick an oil that will help me with this emotion. Or conversely, like what Katie said, they can say, like, I'm having feelings. Go to the oil box, smell a couple, whatever feels good. Be like, Mom, I need some of this. Whether it's rolled on the bottom of their feet or it's diffused in their room or diffused for the whole family. What it gives them is a ability to recognize I can take an action about these feelings I'm having. They don't just have to overwhelm me. Like we said in the very beginning, there's this misconception that emotions just happen to us and we don't have any way to deal with them. But we do. And when you can teach your kids that they have a way to deal with them, whether it's oils or whether it's journaling or whether it's prayer or meditation, they can really empower them to not feel completely overwhelmed. And of course, in the moment, because this is all happening subconsciously until we actually notice the feeling and call the feeling a name, it doesn't mean we won't have the feelings. It'll mean once we have them, we can decide what to do with them, which I think is really awesome. So I'm going to tell you how you can get these if you want them. And then I will answer your guys' questions in the chat room. So you can start thinking about your questions. Also, if you emailed in a question, I'll answer it then too. So this kit, which comes with the 6 oils and the diffuser, is $150. To order it, you just go down below this video and you click. If you're watching on my website, if you're not, I'll post the link in YouTube. If you're watching on my website, you go down, you click the link, and you're going to pick your country. Then you're going to pick wholesale customer. That's going to get you the wholesale pricing on it. You fill out the form. On the next page, there'll be kits along the top. You might have to click over to find emotional aromatherapy. It'll look like this. You pick that, it'll show up in your cart and you can finish checking out. That's not going to just get you the kit. It's also going to get you wholesale pricing for a whole year. That's 25% off everything. And you're going to get a welcome packet with me. And one of the things I'm sending in this month's welcome packets are diffuser bracelets, because so many of my customers have been like, how can I get a diffuser bracelet? And these were just made for me from friends. I'm going to make some up and send them to you. You can tell me what color you want. I got hot pink, I got blue, I got black. I got a little bit of white. So you're going to get a welcome packet from me that comes with a little booklet. It comes with a pencil pouch, and it comes with a diffuser bracelet when you get this this week. If you don't want the individual oils in the diffuser, you can buy this kit and you can rub it on your kids or keep it in your purse. And this is what you look for on that page. Is you look for the intro packet. That's $35. That's going to give you wholesale pricing for the rest of the year. And then what you do in the cart is there's a little empty line. You just start to type in emotional, and then you'll see a drop down. What you want to pick is the emotional aromatherapy touch kit. You'll pick that from the drop down. You'll see it in your cart. This is $100 plus the $35 enrollment fee. So it'll be a total of $135, and then we'll add on taxes and shipping depending on where you live. And then this is $150, and it comes with the diffuser, and it includes your enrollment, your wholesale pricing for the next year. And no matter which one you get, I'm going to send you the welcome packet with the diffuser bracelet. And I just ordered these wheels that have even more emotions and more oil suggestions. I actually showed them. If you're already a customer, you've seen me show it. I'll put it on my Instagram, Essential Enthusiasm on Instagram. I'm going to include those in the welcome packets this month. I really love mine, but I don't have it near me. So I can't show it to you. Yeah, so that is how you get those. They're going to get you wholesale pricing for the rest of the year. You're going to save 25% on this. It's also going to give you access to the loyalty rewards program. So what's been happening is I've been having customers buy their first oils and then immediately want to get more oils. So maybe you get these and then you realize you also want oils to help with your kid's digestion, or you want to help with your respiratory problems, or you're snoring at night, or your anxiety is keeping you awake. So you want to try some Serenity. Maybe you want to get another kit. Before you make your next order, you need to know that the way to save is with a loyalty rewards program. It works like a frequent flyer program in that every purchase you make, you get a percentage of points back. However, it's way easier to use the points than a frequent flyer program. You can use them at any time on any products. And when you start, you get 10% back with every purchase. And the longer you keep making a loyalty rewards program monthly, the bigger percentage you earn back. So after 3 months, you start earning 15% back. And after a year, you're earning 30% back. So when you spend $100, you're getting 30% back in back in points that you can use on anything you want in the shop. Now, what was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, so that's the best way to save. That's on top of the 25% you're getting off all of the prices with your membership. So before you make a second order, you can talk to me. What will happen is you will check out. You will have the choice of setting up your loyalty rewards order for next month, for September. You can do that. Your card isn't charged until that's processed, and you can change it at any time. You can change a date. You can change what's in it. If you already have some things in mind, like the probiotic I mentioned, it's called PB Assist. You could add that to your kit. If you wanted to try some frankincense or some orange, you can add that and set up your LRP. Or when you're all done in the next week or two after your oils arrive, we, or you and someone on my team, will do a wellness consult, which is where we talk about what your health priorities are and how you're actually using the oils in your life. And we'll give you some more suggestions for how to use them. And we'll answer any of your questions then. So if you have questions about LRP, or you haven't set it up yet, or you're not sure how to log in, we'll answer that question for you. Everybody also gets free access to our customers only Facebook group. And you get a really cool PDF, this massive ebook from my friend Leonie. And in it, my favorite part is this. Let me see. She hand illustrated. This is the emotions wheel that I've been showing you in the kit. So you can print out multiples of these and hang them around your house. Or you can use it as a coloring book, and you or your kids can color it in. You can hang it in a room. You can hang them next to wherever you store the oils, or just have it there so that your kid can be like, I'm feeling ashamed because I was just really embarrassed at school today. You can be like, okay, kid, let's pop open the Forgive blend and rub it all over you. So this is really great. This comes for everybody who orders. I'm going to email you this in your welcome email. It's a whole PDF. This is just one page of it. Or it's a whole ebook. It's just one page of it. So that's how you get the oils. If there are any questions about that, you can ask, but I'm going to answer the questions you have sent in about emotions. I wanted to let you know, because some of my current customers are watching, that this month, if you don't already have either of these kits I talked about, the Emotional Aromatherapy Touch or the Diffused, if you order that this month, I'll send you an emotion wheel. So even though most of you have already gotten welcome packets from me, I'll send you that emotional wheel if you end up ordering a kit this month. It's only fair. So Anakin mentions autumn is her danger time for depression. So I would definitely look into cheer. And here's the real thing. Before you feel the feelings, I would start dosing. So I would start with using citrus oils and mints in the morning to both wake you up and get you feeling good, and then make sure that you're getting enough sleep at night. So a lot of the people I've talked to, and my own experience, is that my anxiety is worsened when I don't sleep well, and my anxiety causes me to wake up. So I like to use Serenity at night. You could also use Console or Forgive. Both have sleepy time oils in them to help put you to sleep at night, help you relax, help your heart rate slow down, your breathing deepen. And that will help you wake up better. So I would start doing both the morning routine of some citrus and peppermints, and some, or just mints in general, I guess, not necessarily peppermint. And then in the evening, some sleepy time before you're even feeling it. So right now, going to autumn, I would start doing that. The other thing is to make sure that your gut health is healthy. If you're not taking a probiotic, you might want to look into it. And also supplementation. So I actually have the supplements here behind me because I wanted to remember to tell you this. So if you order either of these kits this month and you make an order next month of at least 100 points, you're going to get the supplement pack for free. This is only for people who join in August and make an LRP order in September. You're going to get these free. The vegan version is like $78, and I think the non-vegan version is about the same in US dollars. You're going to get them totally for free. So it's a massive savings. These are the best thing that have helped me for my mood so far. I was not a supplement person. I did not want to do it. I wasn't interested. I really have a hard time swallowing pills, but I've been taking just half doses, and I'm noticing a real difference both in my gut health, TMI, and in my hormonal issues. This cycle was actually really easy since I've been on these. I've been on these a little over a month, and the main difference is my husband. My husband's been super stressed out because he's going through some things at work. We're trying to buy the shop he works at. It's all up in the air. It's all super stressful. And his mood in the last week has been amazing. Like, I've been like, what's wrong with you? You are so freaking happy. And I asked him, and he was like, oh, I don't really know. And then I was washing the dishes, and I looked over, and he was like singing in the other room. And he's been the grumpiest for like 3 months. It's been really hard, but because of anxiety and stress and pressure. And I was washing the dishes, and I heard him singing, and I looked over, and I saw these sitting there, and I realized he's been taking the supplements, and they have omega oils, which helps your brain and your neurons, the actual it protects them. And it also has B12, which is huge for mood, and vitamin D and vitamin C, both really big for mood, and the whole systems that regulate your mood. And I realized that is why he's cheerful. Sorry, my landlord just walked over to my yard for a minute. I wasn't sure if she was coming to see me. So then yesterday he was really grumpy, and he said, you know, I realized I haven't taken the supplements in 2 days. I'm going to go get it now. Like after he grumped, he said, I realized I haven't taken the supplements in 2 days. That might be it. And I was like, oh, you finally admit it works. So that is one of my best recommendations, Anakin. If you haven't gotten started on them yet, definitely try them. Olivia says, if you are using a particular emotional oil or blend and you don't like the smell, does that affect the effectiveness of the oil? Nope, because it's happening on a chemical level. So I would not put it up near your nose because it's going to affect your affect, like how good you feel if you're smelling something regularly you don't like. So I wouldn't put it on your diffuser and keep smelling it, but put them on the bottom of your feet and then put socks on over, and you won't smell it. And go wash your hands if you don't like the smell. So it can still enter your bloodstream and have that effect without you personally smelling it. So the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that essential oils work on many levels other than just your olfactory system. So you don't have to be smelling it. If it goes on your skin, on the bottom of your feet, and it'll enter your bloodstream, you don't have to be sniffing it. Now I'm going to, oh, right, I got an emailed question I'm going to answer, and then I'll come back, and I see your, Cece, I see your question. I'm going to answer that in a minute. Okay, so, oh crap, where was this email? Thought I had it pulled up, and I pulled up the wrong one. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so the question was in my email, right now my daughter is feeling pretty down. Hard to tell if it's anxiety, depression, which she does technically have, or if it's hormones from being a 12-year-old girl. I feel you. Or stress. I guess having a combination of all three. Anyway, right now she's in a mood where she just doesn't seem like she even wants to get better. She doesn't want to put in effort into making friends, doing things she enjoys, healthy habits, etc. So my question is, do you have any advice for pushing through the phase when the feelings are so overwhelming that you don't feel at all motivated to do something to make it better? Yes. Here's the thing. Because she's your kid and not you, I'm going to talk to you and not her. The first thing, and I've thought a lot about this in the last 24 hours since you sent it to me. The first thing I want to say is that the best thing you can do for her is not make her feel bad that she's feeling bad. So in Susan Cain's book, Quiet, she talks about that we're an extroverted culture, and often families will make an introverted kid, which I know is a different thing, but will make an introverted kid feel bad that they're not more extroverted. I've experienced the same thing with anxiety, and especially social anxiety, that perfectly well-meaning parents will be like, well, what's wrong with you? Well, just do it. Just push past it. That's not helpful. And I know you, question asker, and you're not like that. But I just wanted to say, whenever your kid is dealing with feelings, the best thing you can do is to be there, that they feel like they can talk to you about it, and you're not going to judge them for not being happier, because we live in a happiness culture, and there's a lot of shame sometimes over not feeling happy. And you right now are in the phase of building her concept of what emotions are and what emotions are acceptable and how she should deal with them. So you have a huge role, which I know can be overwhelming and scary because you're afraid of messing it up. But showing her compassion and compassion for her feelings will teach her that she can show compassion for herself and her own feelings. Along with that, you can help her come up with a list of things that would feel good to do, and let it be generated by her, and then let her keep the list. Because if you go at her with, well, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Your brain is generating the list. And what I've learned with dealing with my own husband is that if his brain generates a list of things that will feel good, it's then he's more willing to do the things, and they actually will be more effective than if I just told him this would make you feel better. So you can help suggest things and ask questions and make the list up together. And then when she's not feeling like doing any of the things, because she's 12, you're still in control of her life. And you still have a role to play in showing her, in making her do things that will make her feel better, but not as punishment, but simply as, we're going to do this and it will help us all feel better. So not like ostracizing her as being the kid who's making you all do this thing so you feel better. But so some of the ideas that I had was, for example, you can make her go to physical exercise, not separate of you guys, but together. So like you could all go on a hike or a walk on a Saturday afternoon, every Saturday afternoon. Because here's the awesome thing is that something like a walk or a run or riding your bikes will cause her to make more happiness hormones without her deciding to. That's what I love about exercise, is exercise makes your body more adept at staying, I don't want to say happy, but content, or staying in a place of positive affect without you even intending it to. So this is not a cure for depression, but this is a way to help her feel better more often, is to all get out of the house. And I know you live in a really pretty area. You could walk to your downtown, look at the bookstore, walk back. You could go on a hike, or just, I mean, when I say hike, I really mean a walk in the woods. And regularly scheduling that you're doing either together or that you're doing as a whole family. And you're not making her talk about her feelings. And you're not saying, we're doing this because you're a depressed kid. You're saying, this is a way for us to take care of ourselves. And I think we'll all feel better when we do this. And I mean, because she's 12, she doesn't have a say. So even if she doesn't want to, she still has to. That's what your parenting style may be different. And obviously I don't have kids, but I do have teenage brothers. And I know that you can decide if you want to force her to have fun or not. But I think that you still have a role to play in helping her build the habits that will lead to mental health, even if she doesn't want to. So that includes diet and what food you have in the house. That includes probiotics. And if you ever take probiotics, that also includes like journaling. You can ask her to journal a page each day, and that you don't read it, but it's simply something that she has to do, like making her bed. The other real thing that helps with depression when a person does not want to be helped with depression is helping other people. So again, I wouldn't make her do this as a punishment, because you don't want to punish her moods, because that sets up a whole thing in her head. But something like, you could go to a soup kitchen, all of you, your family, or just you and her, or just her and dad, go to a soup kitchen. You could also, I really loved pets as a kid. Like, as I was thinking about your daughter, I was thinking about, I used to go ride horses, which sounds fancier than it was. I would clean out the stalls, and so then they would let me ride horses for a couple minutes. My mom would just drop me off, and it was all free. well, it was child labor. I was like 13. So the horses really, really helped me get through that stage. And then also my dogs now really help me with issues. And so if she's not a people person, she might be a pet person. You could go and volunteer at a pet shelter. And even if it's just scooping poop and then she gets to pet the animals for a little bit, that will be really huge, because anything you do that's helping other people, and I would actually make her get with the people she's helping. So soup kitchen, candy striping at the hospital, going to nursing homes and doing hand massages. This is something my friend Jacinta, who shares essential oils, does. There's an oil called Aroma Touch, which is formulated for massage. You don't have to be fancy. You can take your Aroma Touch into the nursing homes. The nursing homes love it. And because there are all these studies that actually show that elderly people who undergo hand massages with either lavender or the oils that are in Aroma Touch have decreased amounts of time that they're sick and increased immune systems. So you're actually doing good. Plus, of course, you're having the interaction. And the thing is that doing something good for other people improves your own mood, and it really gets you out of yourself. And for a lot of depression, anxiety, and just teenageness is that you are so in your own head that you get out of yourself. And then afterwards, you can talk about what you're grateful for. So the last practice that you can kind of force her to take part in is a nightly, hey, so tell me 3 things you're really glad happened today. Or tell me 3 things in your life you are actually happy with. And even when a person is depressed and they're resistant to that, you can keep asking the question. My husband and I do this to each other when either one of us are down, is, okay, I've heard enough of your complaining. Now tell me 3 things that you're glad about. And sometimes it's like, well, we paid the rent this month. Like, life is so bad, that's the only thing I can be happy with. Or like, well, our dogs aren't dead. Like when our cats died, we would say, like, as the things, and so Jay's resistant to the word gratitude. It sounds Oprah-y to him. It might sound Oprah-y to your 12-year-old. So you can just say, like, tell me 3 things you're glad about today. And if you guys build up that habit, her brain actually will build up the habit of identifying things that she's glad about, and that will help her move through hard times. None of this will get rid of depression. None of this will get rid of anxiety or Lord knows the horribleness of being a teenager, but it will give her some skills so that when she's out on her own, she can go back to, and it'll just give her habits, like to go back to those habits. I hope that's helpful. I'm gonna look in the chat room now, and you can tell me if it was. Okay, so I'll answer your question, Tosh, about LRP in a little bit. Okay, I'm trying to go back to your question. So Cece said, where did you get the gorgeous diffuser necklace you shared about on Instagram a few months ago? Do you know which one I'm talking about? I think I know which one you're talking about. It's gold and it has a, where's that necklace? I haven't seen that necklace since I came back from my trip. I think it's in one of my bags somewhere, but it's gold and it has like a crystal at the end of it. It has a moonstone at the end of it, and it has a couple lava beads. I got it. Oh, geez. I don't know. Aroma. I'll look it up and I'll link it up below. I definitely, let me actually search my inbox real quick for diffuser necklace. So does anybody have any questions about getting this kit? It looks like 2 of you just ordered, so welcome. Super happy to have you. Yes, awesome. Any more questions you can ask in the chat room. I wanted to tell you, when you are filling out that form, sorry I didn't tell you this earlier, when you're filling out that form to order your oils, if a friend sent you here, on that form where you put in your name and your address where it's going to ship your stuff, in the middle of that page, you'll see my name should automatically, if you clicked the link on this page, my info will automatically fill in there. If someone else invited you to this webinar, type in their number and then hit validate and update, type it in their number in both spaces and make sure you update it. And that way you will be buying the oils with them if they're the ones that sent you here. So if you're not seeing the link at the bottom of this page, you just need to hit refresh. I updated this page right before we got started. So if you got here early, that might not be showing up. You just hit refresh and it'll show up. Okay. Yes. So Cece, the beads that are like in diffuser bracelets are called lava beads or lava stones. They're actually made from lava. They have all these little holes in them. Let me check my camera. Yeah. So they have all these little crevices, and when you put the oil in there, the oil kind of hangs out all day. And in my experience, the same smell will stand for like 24 to 48 hours. And you know, you can just put more drops to like refresh it. So Jess said that was very helpful. I'm so glad to hear it. Yes, okay, yes. Okay, the necklace came from Lava Essentials. It's called Lava Essentials. That's easy to remember. I can't believe I forgot it. Are there any more questions about getting the oils, about using the oils for emotions, what we talked about in the beginning about emotions? The book that I mentioned was How Emotions Are Made. And the welcome packet, if you sign up this month, you have some options. I have pencil pouches like to hold your oils that are in the shape of unicorns. So if you want a unicorn one, tell me. Also, the bracelets will have, it'll be not like this one, it'll be more like this one, but with different beads, probably all in the same color. So tell me what color you want. What will happen once you order is you'll get a welcome email. Just reply to that welcome email and tell me, do you want a unicorn pouch for your essential oils, and do you want a diffuser bracelet? And that will be in your welcome packet, or what color diffuser bracelet you want. Excellent. Okay, it doesn't look like there are any more questions, and I answered all of that. So you guys just let me know. Wait, did I update this page with the, yeah, it says I did. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for asking your questions. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your stories with me, both in the chat and via email. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any questions about getting oils or about choosing the oils that are right for you, please just let me know. I'm going to go on and take this chat room off the page since I won't be there to update the chat, but I will put a link. You can email me, Tara@taraswiger.com. You can leave a message on Instagram. Let me know what it is that you're looking for oils for. The ones we talked about today are specifically for emotions and mood management, but there are oils for things like to help you deal with the pain of fibromyalgia, to help you deal with period pain, and to all kinds of minor ailments, from like backaches to headaches to losing weight. There are essential oils for it all. So just ask me any of your questions. Thank you so much for being here. If someone else sent you to this webinar, send them a message, let them know that you watched it, and ask for their help in getting your oils. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a really excellent day with a really great mood and you just feel good all day long. Thanks, guys. Bye.